Hello there everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's time for a little bit more poetry. I haven't done any for a while, and these ones are from my book Reflection Selection, and that's all about me on the back should you be interested. The poems I'm going to do today are of a dark nature, if you like, a little bit of darkness. This one is called The Cathedral. There are angels in the cathedral, absorbing colour from the stained glass. The high altar is illuminated by candles, which is a backdrop to the Mass. The cruelty of the crucifix, bloodied hands and nails, arms outstretched, a lifeless form facing the pews. Was this really the Son of God, Jesus Christ, King of the Jews? The sun streams through the stained glass, a kaleidoscope of colour carpets the floor, while a man dressed in religious clothing stands at the side of an old oak door. There is a monk stood by the chancel rail, but is he really there? Or is he a ghost from centuries past, as incense lingers on the air? There are plaques engraved upon the wall relating to some ancient archaic law. There are 10 commandments to live by if you want to pass through heaven's door. The candles on the altar flicker as though blown by unheard breath. The mist in the graveyard is dancing as spirits are raised from the dead. The lifeless Christ just hangs there, but how can that really be? On the third day he rose again to set the captives free. Strange sounds come from the catacombs, as strange disembodied voices spoke, which became louder by the minute, as all those who were dead awoke. The atmosphere grew much darker. Then there were footsteps heard in the aisle. Several nuns knelt in front of a priest who had a strange, sardonic smile. Suddenly the organ began playing, yet there was no organist there. I'm not sure if they saw me. They all appeared to be unaware. Black candles were lit on the altar, a blood sacrifice tied to the floor. They began to invoke Lucifer, swearing devotion to him evermore. There was a strange smell of sulphur, then the sound of a tolling bell. The cathedral walls began to shake as Lucifer ascended from hell. Prostrating themselves in worship, daring not to look on his face. I just had one thing on my mind, and that was to get out of this place. There were dark angels in the stained glass. The inverted crucifix they mocked. The sacrificial offering was slaughtered. Not one of those there was shocked. Lucifer stood there just laughing, inflicting those there with pain, as they had heralded in a new age, which would be known as the devil's reign. And that's that one, folks. And the next one is called The Vestry, all on a similar vein. The church building stood out in the darkness, moonlight shimmering on wet slate. It was midnight as the clock chimed 12, perfect, not a second late. The graveyard surrounding the building, covered with colours from the stained glass, shining out from the candle lit within, where a mist rose from the grass. The mist rolled over across the graveyard floor, climbing up and over the gravestones, looking like spirits of the dead dancing, those below reduced to bones. The old black studded door creaked open as I went to look inside. There were epitaphs and monuments to those who had in the past died. An icy cold chill passed by me as I walked down the ancient aisle. Then suddenly before me stood a monk with an unearthly smile. He beckoned me with his finger towards the altar and the rail, gesturing me to kneel down. I felt my heart would fail. He pointed towards the vestry. A vicar was stood quite near. He certainly was not of this life. I had a sense of dread and fear. I turned to run out of the church, but I became transfixed with what I saw. A ghostly congregation in the pews. The church wardens blocked the door. This was a convocation of evil, meeting under that chiming bell, where all the devils were sat there, in this special part of hell. The vicar stood in his pulpit preaching. His sermon was aimed at me, telling me I would go to hell, and that I would never break free. The ghostly congregation shouted Amen as the monk took hold of me, forcing me to take their sacrament. Who could these spirits be? I managed to escape their clutches and escape through the vestry door, leaving behind that congregation of spirits. I vowed not to go there anymore. And that's that one, folks. And the last one is called the Yorkshire Moors. Out on those windswept Yorkshire moors, where many people fear to walk, where devils, demons and ghouls gather, according to local talk, where many people had left the path, becoming trapped by mire and bog. Screams they screamed remained unheard, disappearing in the fog. The devil himself had been seen stood high upon Pewle Hill, gazing out over Marsden Moor, seeking the fulfilment of his will. Many of the villages belonged to him, even the vicar, the Reverend Townsend, who were quiet so many souls for him, as he pretended to be their friend. The floating light pub of testimony stands, a home for the devil and all his foes, where pictures of the many who have died adorn the walls with stories of woe. The devil stands there and he laughs as he looks down on the River Colne. John Wesley called them all heathens, not realising they were the devil's own. Those devils, demons and ghouls roam those windswept moors at night, just awaiting to capture new souls, to carry them away from the light. The church folk take their stand in prayer. Sadly, they're a pathetic sight. Their lack of faith is evident against the devil and his might. They stand and utter words from a book written by another man. Perhaps they should use their own minds, but I do wonder if they can. Meanwhile, the devil is making progress, as so many people fall on the way. by leaving that path on the moorland, never again to see the light of day. Satan and all his hosts are there. All they need to do is sit and wait for that weary moorland traveller to step through hell's wide gate. The village of Marsden stands there underneath the Pennine Hill, where the devil, demon and ghouls await you to fulfil their will. If you find yourself on those windswept moors, make sure your foot does not stray from the way, because the devil and all his minions will be waiting for you that day. You may wonder how I know these things. You may question if they are true. But I beg you, never leave that path. Please stay on it, whatever you do. I know, because I left that path, not far from the floating light, where the devil, demon and ghouls carried me off into the night. They took me to a place of torment, a place of never-ending pain, where so many terrible things happened, where blood poured down like rain. I tricked the devil into setting me free, promising that I would bring many more. For me it is much too late, so I have come to warn you before. I know I will have to return to hell. My soul is no longer mine to hold. So listen to me, all of you out there, if I may be so bold. Never leave that path out on the moors, because great evil is waiting for you. Just keep your eyes on the footpath, whatever else you do. Remember, while out on those Yorkshire moors, where so many people fear to walk, it is not without good reason that the locals so often talk. And there are the three folks. A little darkness to lighten up the day. As I say, these are from my book, Reflection Selection. If anyone is interested, they're available on Amazon, or you can get them from me cheaper. If you don't want to, that's fine. I'm happy to read them out. I hope you've enjoyed what you've heard there, folks. And if you ever do go to those Yorkshire moors, always stay on the path. If you have enjoyed it, please hit the like button, leave a comment in the box below, hit the bell icon for any future uploads. And above all, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, just come and join us. It's a very eclectic channel, and there is much more to come. As always, I will say to you all, Namaste. Enjoy the rest of Friday, everyone. Bye for now.